Hello, welcome to When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes, nothing special. So imagine being a woman. No, I know that's hard to do for a lot of you, but anyway, just pretend you're a married woman, and you're married, but yet you still have dating apps and all that bullshit that women do because women need attention. So anytime a woman has social media in general, um, that's not being faithful. If you want a successful relationship, fellas, your woman can't have any social media because that's just cheating, basically. Because they're bombarded with millions of simps. But anyway, there's this woman. She was married, but she had some dating apps, and so on one of the dating apps she matched with like some actor from like Stranger Things. Except it really wasn't the actor from Stranger Things. It was a guy pretending to be the actor. And I don't watch Stranger Things, so I don't know who it is. I read the article and it said who it was, but because I've never watched the show, I'm not gonna pretend. But anyway, so the woman ends up sending him a bunch of money, and after a year or so, when she finds out that it was just some guy pretending, it was too late because she had already divorced her husband. Oh boy. Yeah, so she divorced her husband and sent this guy a bunch of money because she thought it was really the actor from Stranger Things. Now, the delusion level on this woman is amazing because I don't know how else to say it, but she's not good looking. On a scale of 1 to 10, okay, like what is the most unattractive thing? Okay, for a man, the most unattractive thing is to be poor. Women don't like poor guys. Okay? A man is only worth his money, basically, or what he can provide. Poor man is the most unattractive thing on the planet to a woman. And the equivalent to that, a fat woman is the most unattractive thing to your average guy. Now I'm not talking about the people, like the chubby chase, like the people who like have a fetish for it. Okay, that's different. But I'm talking about the average guy. The most unattractive thing a woman could be is overweight, obese, fat, whatever word you. Lizzo. Okay, looking like Lizzo is the most unattractive thing to the average man. No matter what the media tries to tell you about Lizzo, she's not attractive. Anyway, so she's she's shaped like a beach ball. So you're telling me that in your mind you think a successful actor on Stranger Things, so let's just say he's rich. I don't know if he'd be a millionaire, but he's rich, young, fit, good looking, all the stereotypical things a actor is usually rich, good looking, you know. Anyway, so she thought this guy who is a 9 was trying to get with her who's a 3. The delusion of this woman. I mean, just delusional. Just delusional. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's in like, I see these stories and I'm like, it can't be real. But it's real. I don't understand. Women are delusional. It's like when you see these women on talk shows when they talk about relationships, and like the woman's like 23 years old and she wants a guy her age who's 6'2", makes $200,000 a year, is like a doctor. Like they have all these things that just don't happen. First of all, the height, you know, only I think it's like 12% of the population is over 6 feet tall. It's just called genetics. Human beings are actually on the shorter side. It's just I know you see all these professional athletes, but it's because they're professional athletes. Like the average person's like under 6 feet tall. The average person makes like $40,000 a year. It's just how it is. The average person's poor. So when you see someone want a rich tall person, well, guess what? They're not going to be after you. They're going to be after a chick who's a 8, a 9, a 10. You know. Well, actually, no. They're just going to be after nines and tens because they have options. But anyway, so this beach ball looking chick thought this, you know, I'm pretty sure Stranger Things is a popular show. So is everyone on Stranger Things considered an A-list actor? I don't know. So this beach ball looking woman thought this A-list actor was into her, and for some reason needed her to send him a bunch of money. It just nothing made sense. Nothing made sense. And I believe it was like $8,000, but it wasn't American currency, so never mind. But whatever. Just like 10 grand. Made no sense, but you know. I guess I guess when you get that email from the Nigerian prince saying, "Yeah, if you send me XX amount of dollars, I can invest it, and I'll send you back $50,000." I guess people still fall for that. I guess. And then I wonder because of the coup that's going on in Niger. I wonder if that prince is sending out emails double time because he needs to get out the country. And actually, I don't know if it's Niger, whatever. One of those black countries. One of those countries in Africa that has a bunch of black people. They had a coup, and the government's in shambles. And apparently, America had something to do with it, which, whatever. America has a lot to do with a lot of things. When I saw the weirdest conspiracy theory, actually, I'm not gonna call it a conspiracy theory. Okay, so the fire in Maui that wiped out. I can't pronounce the name. It basically wiped out a whole entire city. There's like over 1,000 people missing, and I was watching the footage of the aftermath, and they had they showed um well, the only dead body that I saw was a dog, and seeing it was pretty I don't know what the word is. I've been working with animals most of my adult life. Actually, dogs mostly. But I've had other jobs. For those of you who listen to this podcast, no, I've had other jobs other than dog jobs. But seeing the dog on the burnt out road, you're like, okay, well, that's kind of what a person would look like too if a fire got to them. And so when I heard that there's over 1,000 missing people, and then you look at the above, like the aerial footage of Maui, where it's it's just blocks of just burnt out everything. I'm like, there's probably a lot of people like that too, in the aftermath. But anyway, so it's a horrible tragedy. Like when they say there's over 1,000 people missing in a fire, it means there's 1,000 dead people. I mean, it's. But anyway, The thing that I heard, and I say I heard because I forgot who exactly said this, but apparently uh, the government there wanted to knock down the city. I can't pronounce it. The city where the fire happened. The government wanted to knock it down and rebuild a AI city, and well, no, they want to rebuild like little 15-minute cities throughout the area. And like a 15-minute city is just like, imagine like a couple of square blocks and everything you need is within 15 minutes. So like you don't have to travel whatever 10 miles to go to an electronics store from your house, or whatever, a supermarket. Just name all the things that you need, all the amenities, shopping mall, food, supermarket, entertainment, just the basics. But it's all in within a little 15-minute area, hence a 15-minute city. And of course, living spaces too. They wanted to build a bunch of those and have AI be integral part, or is it integral part of the whole thing. But of course, the people who lived there did not want to do that because where the fire happened was a historical landmark, because it was Hawaii was a kingdom. It was where the I guess the royalty lived. So it was like a sacred area. So like they didn't want to like knock it down and turn it into like a modern city. They wanted to keep it old school. It's like a national landmark to Native Hawaiians. And so there's people. When I say people, just if you look at independent news sources, those are the people I'm talking about. But they're saying that the fire is suspicious because it wiped out everything. It just happened to wipe out the whole area that the government wanted to use to make all these new changes. It's a weird coincidence, isn't it? And anyway, there's people in the know saying that we have the means and the technology to actually do this to a city. I mean, it is known that we do have laser weapons. Like we have some ships that have laser technology that can shoot down missiles. But if it can hit a target on land and start a fire, and then there's some other people saying that we actually have satellites that can do that too. And they showed footage of other fires where they said people saw bright flashing lights before the fire started, and the same thing happened in the Maui fire. People said they saw bright flashing lights in just different areas of the city where the fire started, and like they were saying that is most likely from lasers, and we have that technology. So I just won't be surprised if that's what if that's what happened, if we actually did it to ourselves. And also the governor of Hawaii, you know what he said? He blamed global warming for the fire. Okay, sure. Yeah, global warming did not start the fire. Like you have when you have like expert, like quote unquote like firefighters, because like you have so many people being interviewed, so it's like not everyone is getting their quote unquote story straight. So when you interview like a firefighter, and they say, yeah, this looks very suspicious, this looks like arson, and then you have other independent people who are going there to investigate it going, yeah, this looks like arson. And then you have the government people saying, oh, it's climate change. I tend to believe the independent sources. And then I know it gets all woo woo when you talk about people saw flashing lights and then a fire started, but it's just because it's just not that common. But come on, over the past 3 years, if you haven't learned by now that the conspiracy theory is usually what really happened, because remember, like the the Wuhan virus, it was considered a conspiracy theory if you said it was a lab leak. Okay, but now there's 100% proof that it was a lab leak. So I mean that's just one example. Another, just everything you heard about COVID, and if you didn't agree with the narrative, you were called a conspiracy theorist. But then, like, now it's all true. The Hunter Biden laptop was a conspiracy theory. Oh, but it turns out it's real. So when people say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory that it was a arson," okay, then that means it was arson. So basically, um, our own government killed over 1,000 people so they could rebuild modern 15-minute cities on the island of Maui, or whatever it's called. This is just the problem with Hawaii. I can't pronounce any of the damn names of the cities. I really can't. Oh God. But anyway, um, just what? Oh, and also they're not letting aid go to the people. There's people bringing in aid to those people in Maui, and uh, government interference is taking place, and they're not letting the aid come through. I mean, there's just so much going on that says the government is trying to just clean the slate of this land. Like, they're doing everything possible to make sure no one survives or leaves, basically. Because if you're not getting aid, you're going to obviously leave. You're not, because like, normally when there's a natural disaster, you stay there because help comes to you, and then you kind of like rebuild from there. But they're not letting help come to them. Like, they are trying their best to make everyone leave. And then watch, they're gonna rebuild it, and they're gonna make their modern 15-minute little cities powered by some AI. You'll see. It's a conspiracy theory now, but watch, it's gonna come true. Anyway, I've said enough. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.